Hello and welcome back everybody to Let's Play 35 plus years of Advanced Squad Leader. I'm starting to believe Mondays are extremely cursed for me. It is a... Fruitin is not around. Probably still recuperating from the weekend. So I will be playing a solo mission tonight, which is probably for the best because I picked one that looked interesting and it is complicated. So hopefully I'm not going to muck this up too much. Um, yeah. So this scenario involves deluxe boards, which is a little interesting because the more and more I look at the boards I'm supposed to use, the more things just look strange. But we'll live with it, and hopefully it won't be too much of an issue. Oh, did it? I put it backwards. That's why. I thought something didn't make any goddamn sense. Alright. Not that that's really going to change too much, except this guy will go here with... I'm going to assume he's pointing that way. There we go. Yeah. Okay, that makes way more sense. Apologies for that. I've been having a hard time with the deluxe because of the quality of the scan I have is pretty low, which makes trying to decipher things a little tough. But nonetheless, we are persevering, and that's what matters. Now I have to try and figure out more of a setup, which no matter how I look at it, I don't like. So we're going to have that guy there. You can exist here. And this guy is going to have to be... Where would I want him? We'll toss him in here. Okay. You know what? No, he'll go here. And he'll go here. Okay. So this scenario is called The Grain of Sand. I have it written two different ways. Mostly because I'm not 100% sure what the actual nomenclature is. So this is an ASL news scenario, hence why it says news in the bottom left. However, I'm pretty sure in the past I've also labeled them ASLN, which is what the stream is called. So if there's any confusion between those two, my apologies, but it's the best I can do since I guess these scenarios were just printed before having like a cute, acronym that they could attach to their scenarios. So because this uses deluxe boards, obviously the counters look a lot smaller, and there's going to be different CC rules, like hand-to-hand combat is technically allowed because of it, as well as just like some stacking. You can kind of make it look different. Wall advantage probably won't be that important, but it can be affected if I remember correctly. So this scenario is 6.5 turns, which is a little strange because the French set up first and go first, which for the defender I always dislike. I'm not quite sure why you would want the French to go first and then give them the 6.5, because it just means that they go last. But you could do that with the Germans going first with 6 turns. So I don't know why they chose that. It seems a little silly, but I'm gonna try not to dwell too much on it. So it being 6.5 turns means that there's a lot of time for deluxe boards, which is odd because of the nature of deluxe boards make it so that it's a very small endeavor. We'll put the sniper there, I guess. So yeah, it's a little strange that they selected it this way, but live and die by how the scenarios are set up. It's a very old scenario. All the ASL news scenarios are old, so apologies if some of these the way that it plays is not quite exactly the same as, say, MMP in the 2010s or 2020s. I don't think there's any way to get around it, and as far as I'm concerned, no one's really chomping at the bit to try and get these really old scenarios, especially this one because it is quite convoluted. We'll get to it, and you know, set the record straight, so to speak, and kind of put some lipstick on it. This scenario features very few units. It's, I believe, 5 squads total for the Germans versus 7 squads for the French. The French are all green, which sucks, and their ELR is 2, which is terrible. Hopefully I will not roll too high as the French, because that would just be terrible. Meanwhile, the Germans have an ELR of 4 and a SAN of 3, which is pretty nice. EC is moderate. There's no wind at start. And probably the biggest thing here in this scenario, well, second biggest, I guess, all hedges are bocage. So all of these, what would normally look like hedges, are bocage. Bocage is kind of weird in that you have to be in a bocage hex and have wall advantage in order to see out of a bocage hex side, if I remember correctly. If you don't have that, then you can't see through bocage, and the same applies to your enemy. So, as an example, if you had a German squad in E4 on board F, and you were looking at E2, so long as that unit is not, in the hex and essentially looking out of the E2, E3 hex side, the guys in E4 do not see them. That's my my understanding of it. I'm gonna have to go over the rules anyways, but we'll use that as like a ground level rule there, and see if my memory is good on that. No wind at start. It's not really a big thing. The French suffer ammo shortage, so we've already experienced that before. Cowering makes them reduce their squad quality. Since they are conscripts, green, not conscripts, but since they're green, they would be casualty reduced, unless they battle harden at some point to get away from that limitation. In fact, I'm going to double check that right now, since I got to do rules stuff anyways. So, ammunition shortage. Ammunition shortage, you get replaced if you roll an original 12. Yeah. If you can't suffer quality, if you are incapable of quality loss, you are broken. Unless you're Berserk, and I guess if you're Berserk, you don't suffer any penalty, but that would be a problem. As well, not all members of a fire group would be subject to unit replacement, so you have to do random selection, and ties would, in fact, cause issues there. A11 applies because all sport weapons are have their original breakdown and X numbers and ammunition depleted numbers decreased by 1 during an ammunition shortage. So it's not terrible for the French, just because they only have LMGs, so they're not that great anyways. But it means they break on an 11 and they are X'd on a 12 is my understanding there. And then there's other stuff as well. Just it doesn't affect snipers, and there's circled B numbers, but we don't have to worry about that. Okay, what else do we got here? It's not going to apply because it's the Germans. The Germans are not under an ammo shortage, which is pretty alright for them. Any mobile non-shocked unknown kill German AFV spending its entire player turn adjacent to the roadblock without participating in any other action may remove the roadblock at the end of the player turn. Excuse me. So there is a roadblock in this scenario. Obviously, I know where it is because I'm playing against myself, but I feel like this is probably the best spot anyways. But the vehicle, to my understanding, has to already be adjacent to the roadblock. So if I have a vehicle that's driving down, you can't just stop and then in the next player turn, you just declare or whatever. Um, because the way it's worded is its entire player turn, which to me means it would have to spend the German player turn adjacent to a roadblock. So you can't do anything with it. It's not really the end of the world. The half tracks that the Germans have are considered AFVs, so they wouldn't really suffer any major penalty. But it is something to be looked at and addressed. And then we have the big one, which I'm not a huge fan of, and depending on how frustrating it is, will probably lead to an early exit. But we'll see. I want to give this its fair shake, but yeah, it's hard to look at it in a certain light. So this SSR4 is very wordy. It is 2 paragraphs, takes up essentially half a page. So during prep fire, movement, and defensive first fire phases only, which I believe that's supposed to be defensive fire phase, because defensive first fire is during the movement, and it's not a separate phase. A good order unit must be in control capital C, to fire any weapon or small arms, or to move. Control is checked at the instant of execution of the planned action, and, if in control at that moment, lasts for the entire phase. Units entering play, berserk, dummies, and good order leaders are always in control. Units in the same / adjacent hex to any friendly unit that's in control are also in control. Armor leaders give control to the vehicle they command. Units in situations where fire / movement is mandatory are always in control. Exception or examples: units in motion, triple point by fire. Otherwise, control is determined by a command control die roll, which you do one such die roll per fire group, stack, or platoon. It should be squad, but whatever. If the final die roll is below 5, the unit is in control. If the final die roll is above 4, the unit is out of control. In prep fire phase, cover this unit with an opportunity fire counter. Exception: vehicles may not fire in this phase. In the movement phase, no movement factors or movement point expenditures are allowed. In the defensive first fire, the planned defensive shot is not allowed. But any further, okay, so it is during, all right, I don't know why they split it that way, is not allowed, but any further movement factor or movement point expenditures by the attacker will enable the defender to roll again the command and control die roll. Die roll, for clarification, is singular die, not double die, because that would be insane. The final die roll is obtained by adding 2 for the French and 0 for the Germans to the original die roll. Making a command control die roll is not a concealment loss action, but HIP units must be placed on board under concealment. This is very important because of 2 units on the map that are HIP, and it's weird how the snare is set up. So there's something that is entirely outside of the realm of ASL, and it's they're trying it out, and maybe I'm overly harsh on this. I don't know if I would necessarily go that far, but yeah, we'll see. We will see, because if you roll really high, then you just never get to shoot, and that seems really boring. So we're gonna just go ahead with this, and hopefully not die of embarrassment or something. And before I forget, bocage. So bocage rules, you look for them in B 9.5. So it's a special form of hedge, yada yada yada. All rules pertaining to walls are applicable to bocage except as modified. So bocage is depicted by wall hex heights per SSR. Bocage is a 1-level LOS obstacle with a difference. Although a defender behind a bocage hexide may be in LOS of a higher level firer, the next hex along that LOS through that bocage hex is a blind hex. So essentially they act as like, yeah, level 1 obstacles. They're like buildings, you can't see past them, blah blah. Treating that bocage hexide as instead being a single story house in that defender's hex is a good way to visualize how it creates blind hexes versus that higher level viewer. LOS cannot be traced along a bocage hex spine as can be done with a wall. A bocage hex spine is treated as a normal 1 level obstacle in all respects. So the other thing that kind of gets a lot of people is hexide LOS. So LOS may be traced through a bocage hexide to the hex formed by that hexide. So what they mean is like you can see into G3 through H2 is what they're trying to say here. A viewer having wall advantage, that bocage hexide can see freely through the bocage hexide and any hex beyond it. So I will take out some counters here because they have wall, like these guys all set up technically with wall advantage. So wall advantage, there's a hidden wall advantage over yonder and a hidden wall advantage over yonder. A viewer in a hex formed by the bocage hexide but without wall advantage can see through the bocage hexide to the adjacent hex, but not beyond that hex. It can see anything in that hex. A viewer not in a hex formed by the bocage hexide can see through the bocage hexide to the hex forming that hexide, but not beyond that hex. It cannot see units without wall advantage, nor their possessed equipment, but it can see everything else in that hex. So basically what it's trying to say is, if I were to look from E5 to F3, I could only see the units in F3 if those units had wall advantage. If they do have wall advantage, you can see them. If no units have wall advantage, you can't see anything in there. If you were in F4 looking at F3, but you were in F4 without wall advantage, you can see into F3, but you cannot see into F2. Or you could see into F3, but not into G3. If you were in F4 with wall advantage, you would see as per usual with regards to walls and hedges, minus like the bocage rules. So that's like the big differences as far as I'm aware. There's a couple other things here. So crossing a bocage hexide costs infantry 2 movement factors plus cost of terrain. No other unit may cross a bocage hexide except a fully tracked AFV. An AFV crossing a bocage hexide cannot use reverse movement, carry riders, and is subject to underbelly hits, loss of Scherzen, and bog. I do not have any fully tracked vehicles, so we don't have to worry about any of that. Yeah, it's probably not worthwhile trying to bust through there anyways. So hopefully that has clarified the LOS rules enough that we can just get going. So like I said, the French go first quizzically. I really don't understand why. Weather is no change. I don't have shots on anybody. Yeah, I really don't think I have shots on anybody. Oh, excuse me. So I guess I'll just go to movement. Also, apologies for being zoomed out so much. I don't know if I can reduce the board sizes, and I've already set everything up, so I kind of don't want to mess with it at the moment. But I will try to remember this next time I play a solo thing with deluxe boards, because I get it can be a little hard to follow what's going on when everything is just so small. But then again, if you're watching this and you can find a copy of the scenario or whatever, or even just use Vassal, you can kind of play along and see how things go. Okay, so in the movement phase, I still don't really have anything I want to do. I might choose to split a stack. There's really no reason to want to do anything. Actually, Because I have green units everywhere as the French, crossing a Bocage Hexide would cost their entire movement. So I'm not going to bother with anything. I'm not even going to bother with advanced phase. It's just a dead turn, which again, not quite sure why the French are supposed to go first in this. In fact, this is bugging me so much that I'm going to check the ASL Scenario Archive, not sponsored and whatever, and see if there's an errata on here, because I think that's strange. There's no errata. Cool. All right. I should also point out, because I forgot to mention. So the victory condition in this scenario is the Germans must control eight of the at least nine. Sorry, at least 9 road locations of the board G03 through to A3 on board E road. So they're all marked. You need to control at least 9 of them. It's not like a crazy number to hit, but it is. It can still be a lot because of MMC control rules and all that. So we go to the Germans. Germans will roll 7, so no morale change. I have no things to do in prep fire because I can't see anybody. I don't think any of my units see anybody. So again, really silly to have the Germans go second. I am trying to move, so I need to roll command control dice for units that do not have a leader. So in this case, I want to try and move the 247. I roll a 5, you can't move. We can see instantly how this is really fun and cool. Vehicle is also going to try and move. He does get to move. He will start for 1. He'll go into 03 for 1/2. And then I might as well continue to N2 for 2 total. 2/2. As I get there, I will declare a shot. I can't imagine that's going to be a miss. I am looking at 6. +3. Yeah, no, it's definitely a hit. Huzzah! Man, 6 on, what is that, 75? 75L is 17. Alright, so this becomes a burning wreck. I guess I should be glad I did not put any units in there. So it becomes a burning wreck. Okay. And does not have rate of fire, which is fine, I guess. Okay, next group. We'll do vehicle first. Why not? They get to move. So starts for 1, 1/2, 2/2, 4/2, 7/2. I actually don't know if I can. I think I should be able to. 10/2, and then 11/2. Hold on, half tracks. I'm pretty sure are 1. I'd be shocked if half tracks were 2 in open ground. Yeah, they are 1. All right, so that was like 10/2 or whatever. Yeah, I'll just I will turn once. We'll say like for 13 total, and then stop delay, just so I don't kind of get shot at from behind. Guy with the LMG does get to move. Cool. I will declare CX since I need to gain some ground here. 2, 4, and then 5. Next up, armored car gets to move for free. This is also kind of silly because if you just pay attention, then you'll know which units have leaders. Just seems odd, I guess is all. Anyways, so he gets to start for one. How much movement I got? 24, 34? Yeah, fuck it. 2, 3, 4, 5, 7. Do I try 4? I'll intensify. Why not? Okay. Uh, well, it's critical. So I'm pretty sure, regardless. Yeah, no, they're just that guy's just gone. So there's another burning wreck, which technically doesn't change anything. Why did I take both? So that is also a wreck, and we'll put the burning with a blaze on it for fun. Okay. Next up, I've got a squad with a leader. Actually, you know what? They are not going to CX. They will 2, 4, 5. I'm going to try and band all my guys together here. Armored car will try to move. He gets to move. Starts for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now, they have intensified, so they can't shoot anymore, which is good for me. So I think there's like 7. This would then be 1 plus 2, 10, and then so 11, I believe. Then 14. As he gets here, yeah, because I could turn. We'll say 15. Or, yeah, whatever. He's got way more than enough movement ever. I'm going to take a shot with an LMG. Oh, shoot, that's right. I forgot to do... Do I have to do it for... Yeah, I do have to do it. Did the guy pass? He didn't get it on the second time. But, yeah, it doesn't matter, because you would still... The movement point expenditure, he could still do it. Yeah, because the shot doesn't exist, but that doesn't... Yeah, you would still do the 2 hit afterwards. So unless I get... yeah, okay, he's fine. Because I would have had to roll another 2 3s or yeah, 3s or above. So I will roll for the LMG. Okay. LMG gets to shoot. So the LMG is going to roll his 2 hit, which is it's a hit. It's 7. There's plus 3. He's seen him in the smoke for, at least the 4 movement or whatever. So yeah, there shouldn't be anything else outside of that. 2 kill, shit. Okay. I am in the rear covered arc, which means I get the +1 for the engine hit. MG is already 4. The distance will increase that to 6. So it's a 7. And the armor is 1. So that's a 6. That will destroy that vehicle. Alright. I'm starting to think this is just going to be game over right off the bat here. Wow, this is frustrating. What else can I do? Guy with the leader gets to move for free. This guy, do I even care for a mortar? Like, the other thing too is, like, you get a mortar as the Germans, but you can't see above bocage, so like it doesn't matter where you set up. There's so many orchards and hedges or bocage that it doesn't matter. Like, I don't see what the point of the mortar is, if I'm being completely honest. So yeah, these guys will... Do I need to CX? 3, 5... I can bypass, it's true. 1, bypass 2, bypass 3, 4, 5. And these guys don't have wall advantage, so they don't get to see anything. Or, sorry. They can see into this hex, but they can't see units without wall advantage. Oh, no, wait. Viewer, but without wall advantage, can see through the hex side. The adjacent hex, but not beyond. Okay. Well, you know, we'll try. Well, I don't need to because there's a leader in there, which means they're in control. 8 up 1. Pintash check. Leader's fine. Squad's fine. Okay. All right. And also I can't believe I rolled another 1. I've never. This is crazy. Did I roll for? No, I didn't get access sand. All right, good. Okay. Half track. Gets to move. Starts for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and I'll just try for like an armored assault, I guess. Half squad gets to move, dumps the mortar because it's useless. 1, 2, 3, 4. Armored car doesn't get to move. Kuba wagon, sure, gets the move. Starts for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Stops there, delays the rest. All right. Is there anything else for me to do? Not really. No. Defensive fire phase, we don't need to roll for command control because it's only in prep fire, movement, and defensive first fire, which again is just movement. So there's no control rolls that need to be done, which don't matter. I guess technically I should have rolled for crew survival on that. Did I get a... No, I would need snake eyes. Yeah, I don't really think there's much else I need to do. I guess like I'll subsequent. No, because that would be 9 on 4, which isn't anything. Pretty sure that's it. Advanced fire phase, I guess I'll do 3 up 2. Nope. And then 4 flat. 7 pin test check. Leader's fine. First squad's fine. Second or half squad is fine. Second half squad is not. They triggered a sniper. Sniper activates, which is nice. 3-6. Wow, that sucks. Instantly targets this guy and breaks him. Okay. That's it for advanced fire phase, if I'm being honest. Routes. Yeah, no. None needed. Everybody kind of just died. Advances. I will advance into here for CC. These guys will advance into open ground. I don't have anything else to do. CC phase, ambush. So Germans and then the French, no ambush. Sadly, that would have been, if the numbers were reversed, that would have been really good. So this is a 5 versus 5. So the Germans will fight at 1-1, but the French are at 1-2. So 1-1 for the Germans. So down 2, nothing happens. The French roll 12s, which I don't think does anything because it's not a shot. So infiltration, I could like leave the hex, but there's no point. Like technically I could go somewhere, like I could go into like M5, but going to M5 just means that I'll still get shot by them. Potentially, anyways, they'd have to pass a thing. But they can still shoot at me, and it doesn't get me an objective. Doesn't necessarily get me closer to an objective. And I still have to control 9 friggin' hexes. So I might as well use the time I have to try and eke out a victory in melee. Okay, we go to French turn 2, no weather change. Rally phase, they'll try to self-rally. Nope. Cool. Prep fire phase. Don't really have anything. This guy's technically lost this. I could shoot the gun at my own troops, but that would be stupid, so I won't. Honestly, like, there's no reason for the French to do anything at the moment. No prep, no movement. Defensive fire phase, no. Advanced fire phase, no. No routes. Advances, I mean, I don't care to do anything, really. Like, I don't need to do anything as the French. CC, we have, this time it's 1-to-1 for the French, and 1-to-1 for the Germans. The Germans get a -2. I could attempt capture, but then I'd have to try and massacre them. It's not worth it. So, French, and then Germans will get a casualty reduction. So random selection, leader, half squad, both get reduced. So one half squad goes away, and the leader is wounded. But the melee continues. German turn 2, weather, no change. We go to rep fire. Or, sorry, rally. The French, do they get to rally their guy? They do. Nope, never mind. 6, wow, that's gross. So nothing happens. We go to prep fire phase. Again, I have no targets for prep fire, so I'm not going to bother. We go to movement phase. In the movement phase, these guys are with leaders, so they are quote-unquote in control. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Hopefully I can go around is really the only plan I have here. Half track in 05 is going to attempt to start, but never mind, doesn't get to do anything. Half track in B2 on board D is also going to try and move. He does get to, starts for 1. Armored assault. Let me see, armored assault. I think I only get to move as far as the infantry would be able to go. So, yeah. I will armored assault. So, they'd have to CX. Alright, I got a CX. I think I have to declare the infantry too. How does the armored assault work? If you're moving as a stack, I would imagine... Oh, if a unit in this... Yeah, okay. If a unit is adjacent... Well, adjacent to unit... Whatever. It's silly nonetheless. So these guys all get to go. So I'm going to do armored assault, which means I can go 1, 2, and then 3, 4, 5. And then the half track can continue. So he'll go into L, or sorry, because there's no, I don't have any other shot. So, after the full value, the AA gun will take a shot. That is a hit plus rate. We're looking at, because that's a 4, it's increased by 3 to 7. And Blaze would not be cumulative. I don't think it's cumulative. Because it's the same value. And I think you always take the highest. Hopefully, if I'm calculating that wrong, someone can correct me. But I'm pretty sure you don't get multiple smoke in a hex. It would have to be like if maybe phosphorus and regular smoke. And even then, I think it's just the highest smoke value in a given hex. Because otherwise, you could just smoke grenade into a hex 6 times, which is very silly. But you could just do that. I don't know, or I guess 3 times because infantry smoke is +2. I think. Whatever. I'm gonna say that he gets it because of yeah, it'd be +3 for moving and small. But I've seen him for enough movement points that there's no additional like negative. And then you've got 1 blaze, which I will assume is +2, and then like a TM from one of the vehicles, but that would still be 10. I'm gonna treat it as a hit. Whatever. I'm just gonna go with the flow. 75L, the 2 kill number is 17. That is, yeah, an 8. Increased by 1 for armor. So it is destroyed. It is not a wreck or a burning wreck. And does the crew survive? 5. They do not. All right. Well, I mean, all right. I have rate, which is dope. These guys will exist in this hex, which is fine. Oh, right. Keep forgetting this. Alright, well, he didn't get to shoot. I get to undo all of this garbage. Cool. So I hate this rule. I really do not like this rule. Well, okay, so I will continue into L2 because that's what I would have chosen to do. Otherwise, LMG will do his thing. That will be a hit. No effect on the 2 kill. Cool. I will also shoot his inherent as an 8+2 against the vehicle, which is a pin test check, which they're fine. I don't have to worry about the math on that one. Oh, I really do hate this roll. Okay, I didn't get the LMG shot anyways, so yeah. Did I get the... Okay, so I got the inherent firepower, but not the support weapon, which means I'm going to have to try in the defensive fire phase. Is there any other movement to do? Kugel wagon, maybe? Yay. Starts for one. What do I even do with him? Like, I'm just going to drive him off the board. There's no, like, point to him. There's no weapon on it. I'm not towing anything. There's the bocage, like all the bocage just makes it so it's like I'm not, unless I'm deciding to load up a Hasquad as like a death ride, like just rush an area and hope you don't die. I don't know. It seems just silly. Armored car gets to go, so it starts for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I think this is 13, I think. As that happens, like, well then, nope, I don't get to shoot. I would have had to spend 5, I think. So 3 movement points is what I need to not suffer penalties. So on movement point 4, I won't get a shot, and I won't get a shot. Okay. I don't even know. 14, 15, 16. I will attempt a shot with the AA gun. I will get the shot, which means I turn 2 hits. Oh, man. Okay, what's my 2 hits? I'm not in bocage, so it's not doubled. And it's just a +1 for turning. I've seen it more than enough. So it's +3 for moving and small, +1 for TEM from the wreck. I think that's it. I don't think there's any other like hindrance or whatever that would apply. So that is a hit. 2 kill, yeah, I'm not, whatever. Crew survival 2, didn't get it. Honestly, like, I don't know. I'm kind of already done with this scenario. I don't really know what you're supposed to do. It's also burning rack. I just don't. It's like, what would you even choose to do? Like, there's no more movement I can do. Defensive fire phase, I mean, the blaze really, like, fucks with a lot of stuff. So, LMG, I can't imagine that's more than that. Because it's, I guess they're off by 1. They're still considered move plus small, so it's +3. And then smoke would be +2. And then TEM. would be another +1. So yeah, I think that's 11. So nothing happens there. I'm gonna reveal this stack. I didn't want to take that off. It's defensive fire phase, not defensive first fire, which is silly. And I will shoot 24 up 4 against those guys. So that's 9 on 24. 2 morale check. They will break, which I gotta remember. I think that shocks them. It's shock or stun, and I always forget. Morale check. $5.311. Yeah, they check for morale. If they fail it, they get stunned. All right. So they are stunned. And these guys are marked, and then that's all I can do. Advanced fire phase, none. Outside of, I guess, like the 2 CX guys are gonna try. No, there's no way. We're already looking at +2 for emplaced, +2 for smoke. Sorry, +3 for smoke because it's their hacks. And then +1 for CX, so +4, +7. Yeah, no way. Not even really worth taking the shot. Routes, none. Yeah, none. Advances. The Germans will advance 1 hex. There. That's it. Oh, I will try to go after this gun. CC, we'll do the one that already exists. So it's 5 to 3. And the leader's now a +1, and the Germans are a -2. So 5 to 3, it's 3 to 2. 3 to 2 down 2, which I don't think I have enough. I think I needed a 6. 3 to 2, yeah, I needed a 6, so no effect. The French are at 1 to 2 +1. No effect. Alright, so that just stays like that. Over here, there is no ambush. Yeah, this might turn out to be an illegal placement, because I don't know how the... I think that's supposed to be... Marsh. Well, maybe they could. I don't know. Whatever. There's no ambush, I don't think. But these guys are 4 to 1 up 1. Cool. The French will do a 1 to 2 down 1. Alright, they didn't get it. So this just flips to melee. French turn 3, and like I really feel like I just want to give up the ghost. Like, what? The only way that the Germans win this is just one dumb, like, blind luck and like boredom. This is 4 7 hexes, so you still need 2 more. I guess technically, labels. So technically the Germans have 3 or 4 really, but whatever. So they have 4, they would need 5. Because it's like, yeah, these guys could just run, you know, next turn they'll be able to get here, and this guy's broken until further notice. So I'm just so checked out with all the harsh penalties of like the Germans don't get to move, even though, and I know I did that wrong at the start because I was rolling even though I was potentially next to a guy who was in control. But I guess like that's maybe I am doing that wrong, where it's like, well, I mean, is there a cascading effect for control? Like, if you're in control with a unit in F3, you're then in control with a unit in E3, but does D2 get to bounce off of E3's control because, like, if you can just cascade like that, then, like, why even have the rule? I guess, like, well, the French, you know, you can place them, but then, like, just, you can just have the French leaders, like, just have them, I don't know. Losing all these vehicles is very demoralizing. I will just say that, I guess, is really what it comes down to. Okay, so uh weather. I think I rolled weather. Yeah, no change. Um Rally on the broken guy, no effect. Okay. Prep fire for the French. Um I will attempt LMG versus half track. I can't imagine that's not a hit. Again, that's like a +4 overall. 1 TM, 2 smoke, small. And then should be a -2, I believe, for distance. No effect. I will shoot the... Or, sorry. I didn't get to shoot. Never mind. They get marked with opportunity fire, which is fun and great and cool. I will take all of my infantry and shoot again, or attempt to shoot again. They will not shoot. What's even the point? Guy with the LMG tries to shoot. Doesn't get to. And then, like... That's it. Movement. Good order, so... 4? Yeah. 5. There. That's it. Defensive fire phase. Half track will shoot 6 up 2, I think. Because Bocage, I don't think changes TEM value. It just does a lot of stuff with regards to... yeah, so it's +2. Yeah, because it's treated as a wall. That's right. That's right. Yeah, so 7 on 6 instead of 6 on 6. So it's a normal morale check on 3 guys. So morale check, break, and pin. And none of them are Elard, which is incredible. That was all the shooting. I've got no other shots. No advanced fire phase. Or do I get to in... If they do not have it, what happens? They get marked with an opportunity fire. Yeah, I just don't think you get to do anything. Cool. Fun. Routes. I mean, these guys will go across into K4 for 3.5. 5.5, and then they're stuck there. With their goal to get to J5, and then that's it. Advances, these guys are going to cross the wall into the building. Guy with the LMG will attempt to get into the half-track hex, so checks for pin. He's pinned. Whatever, it's not the end of the world. CC phase. Okay, I, as the French, will attempt a 1-2 versus L1. Okay. Does field promotion always count, or do you have to be? I think field promotion always counts because it's just checking for MMC, I think. The Germans will just roll their thing because they are, they would technically be 4-1 normally, but now that changes to 2-1, which I don't think they'll get because the CX specifically. So field promotion, if it applies, field promotion, A18. Anytime an MMC, yeah, it's just as long as it's an MMC. So, gonna roll on the leader table. We are looking at 3. Then the odds were, it was a 1 to 2, so it's one column to the left, so it's a -1. So it becomes a 2. Their morale is 7, and they weren't broken. So they generate an 8-0. So they get an 8-0, shares their status. Man, if I should have rolled against the entire group. So one of these guys is dead for sure. I'll just pull them out. And then they're attacking. They would have been attacking 4-1. Then that gets reduced to 2-1 because of their because it's now 4-2. That gets a casualty reduction actually because of their +1. So random selection on leader, and then the half squad or the crew. Sorry, the leader takes the wound, so he is wounded. So he doesn't cause anybody to break, but now he's a +1 guy. So that happened, which is excruciating for the Germans. And then over here, same as before, it is 3 to 5, so 1 to 2 with a +1, and the Germans are at a 3 to 2 down 2, which they will finally get their kills. And we go to German turn 3. German turn 3, no weather change. French rally. Wow, they get their gun back, which is terrible for the Germans. These guys don't get the rally. Their DM stays on. Prep fire phase. I'm going to hope and pray that this is enough again. I have to roll. They don't get to do anything. Never mind. Yep, that's it. I'll go to movement. In the movement phase, I need to get some movement here, so these guys will cross for 2. Right? No, sorry, 3. 3, 4, 5, and 6. I need the movement. I'm gonna see this. The French will see this. Will attempt. They will not get it, so they just won't get to shoot. Germans are there and kind of just stuck there. Meanwhile, this infantry is going to jump into brush. That'll be 4. 5, 6, 7 with the late CX. There. Okay. Defensive fire phase. Oh, sorry. This guy does get to start. He starts for 1, turns for 2, and then pays all of his available movement to be in 04 in motion. I'm just now realizing that there's no point. There's no way around. You have to go down the road. All right, well, that's me being a dummy, so I'll just turn back and we'll say this is like yeah, that would definitely be 16. And I'll be in motion. Yeah, so defensive, like actual defensive. This guy's not pinned. Actual defensive. This guy will take a shot. Okay. Um, Sadly, that's not a crit, as much as I would have liked that to be the case. Yeah, machine gun goes from 4 to 6. It's not rear, but it is side. It's still 1. Yeah, it doesn't do anything. I do have rate. Shoot again. Hit. No effect. And then I will shoot 4. Okay. He is broken. So he's going to end up losing this. And then I'll do the same thing. Another 8 up 3, I think. Pin test check. They are pinned, which means they button up. But otherwise, nothing really happens. Cool. These guys will shoot again. It's a 4 up 2, I believe. Yeah. Nothing happens. And these guys will turn their gun. That's it. Advanced fire phase. Not really. I mean, I guess I could take a shot with these guys. We'll just throw out a roll here. It is 11 firepower halved, plus 2. That looks like a. Is this a wood building? No, that's a stone building. That's plus 3. I'm pretty sure it's stone building. This would be an up 3 on 5.5. 8 on 5.5. I'm pretty sure at most it's a pin test check. But yeah, pin test check 8 on 5. Doesn't matter. It doesn't do anything. Cool. Route phase. You guys continue this way. 1.5. 4.5. And then can't go further. They got preps and defensive here. Advances. Do I want to? No, we'll go into Orchard. And these guys are going to cross into. Ooh, do I do road? No, I'll go to I2. We'll go to I2. Why not? CC. There is one CC. It is. Oh, this guy loses CX. It is 1-to-1 up 1 for the French and 1-to-1 flat for the Germans. So 1-to-1 and then 1-to-1. The French troops will be eliminated. And this melee is over. German turn, or sorry, French turn 4. Weather, no change. They get a self rally they get to do, so we'll do the guy with the LMG. Didn't get it. These dams come off. Nothing else. Prep fire phase. I mean, there's even less for me to do now. Do I even technically see anybody? I don't think so. Wall advantage guy is going to shoot 8. Or, yeah, no, he's button up. And he has to unbutton forcefully. Yeah, I don't think there's anything that I care to do, I'll be honest. Yeah, I don't think there's anything I care to do. These guys will attempt to move. They don't. Alright, good talk. Defensive fire phase. I don't know, man. Nobody sees anybody. Advanced fire phase, none. Routes. You can go into the woods. That's it. Advances. We'll say here with wall advantage. Pretty much sure that's it. CC none. German turn 4. No weather change. Is there anything to roll and rally? No. Go to prep fire. And the prep fire, I might as well use these guys to shoot. No. No, I have to declare unbutton, I think. So, movement phase, this guy's going to attempt to move. Doesn't. Cool. This guy's going to try to move. Also doesn't. Alright, sick. Alright, I feel like I'm just going to call this a draw because I just am so displeased with this scenario. Does he get to move? Also, no. Alright, well, fucking whatever. I think I'm done. Like, okay, I guess I get to do something with them. Like, I need to get here. 1, 4. And then I can't even go there. They lose CX. Yeah, so I can't even go further. So that's all I get to move this turn. Defensive fire phase is like, alright, well, like, these guys will shoot into I2. The 4 flat. 3 on 4. 3 on 4 is 2 morale check. Yep. Okay. So leader breaks. First squad breaks. Next guy takes a pintash check. He's pinned. Alright. Sniper? Doesn't activate. Alright. Yeah, I don't know, man. I kind of get what the snare is trying to do and stuff, but it's just so... Eh. I guess technically this roadblock gets spotted now. Advanced fire phase none. Routes, like... These guys will route 3-5. Cool. Advances. I don't know, man. You can go here and you can go here, I guess. Just to try and claim some wall advantage or something. Unlike this corner. I don't know. I like need to make something happen. No CC. Weather, no change. Rally phase, the French get 1. Their free self rally, they won't get it. The Germans will attempt to rally their leader, which I think that will. Yeah, they'll get him back. He tries to rally the squad, nothing happening. That's it for rally prep. Guy with wall advantage is going to shoot 6 up 2 against H3. You've got to be kidding me. He cowers twice, so it goes from 6 to 2. It's a 4 on 2, which is a 1 morale check. Oh, sorry. I needed to roll. He doesn't get to shoot anyways. I'm just going to harvest the... Okay. There's a leader with him anyway, so he harvests it. I don't care. That becomes... It's on 8. It's a 2. It goes up by... Actually, they don't have the wall. So it's just a down 1 shot, I believe. So it's a 1 on 8, which is double KIA. So these guys are just gone. And like... Yeah. I don't know. I just want to play even less now. Oh man, this scenario is torture. I don't know. I feel like I have not. I didn't like the premise, and I have just not liked anything. Even the potential of this scenario is just like I don't really care. I guess that is true that this guy. Well, he doesn't really have anybody to shoot at, so it doesn't really matter. Blah. We'll say route phase. We'll say this guy tries to shoot. He gets to shoot. It's a 7-up-2. 8-on-7's a pin test check at best. Uh, they're both pinned. Cool. It's not gonna matter. So the advanced phase. Green guy. Attempt. No, he's just pinned. Stays there. Nothing happens. No CC. We go to German turn 5. Yeah. And I think I'm just gonna kind of throw in the towel here. Realistically, I just don't see, like... I don't know if I could get past everything in order to get a victory as the Germans, but also, like, I'm so mentally checked out from the scenario that I don't care. And that's kind of like the worst spot to ever be in, obviously. This guy comes back, which, like, cool. I don't think it really does much because, like, I guess technically they could get into F2. Maybe. 1, 4, 5, 6. And then survive the AA gun. Like, they can potentially get in there. I guess they could also do 1, 3, 4. But then you're, right next to the guy, so... Which I guess they could fit in. Is it worth it? Probably. Absolutely not. Go to prep fire phase. Nope. Nope. Movement. This guy's gonna try and move. He gets to assault move. Because these guys exist, I'm not gonna take that shot. I will wait. Button up, half track, gets to move. They will unbutton and start for 1. As they do that, this guy gets to shoot. He cowers, but it doesn't really matter. So this guy gets to move. 2, 3, 4. Stop for 5 and delay the entire rest. I don't need to worry about that. This guy attempts to move. He does. Starts for 1, 2. 1 for terrain, +2 for vehicles, and then +1 for smoke, I believe. So what, +5? Unless I can't count because my brain's messed. So 6. Here's another 2 for vehicles, 1 for terrain, and then smoke. So 10 or 11, 12, 13, and I'm gonna stay in motion. I'll stay in motion and just pay the whole 16 there. This guy will go up for 2 and then into the woods for 4. And then he will claim wall advantage. Stack in J0. We'll go to I1 for 1, into H1 for 3 total, and then into G2 for 4 total. Stack in O3. Is that O3? No, G3 are going to attempt to shoot. They do get to shoot. Actually, I don't even... Why am I... 8 down 2. 5 on 8, which I think is a 2 check. Of... Yep. They both break it. I don't know. It's either you're getting shot at by a 75mm, which I guess... Is that an 85mm without AP. Probably doesn't have AP. Which is AC. 7. I would have blown up every vehicle, and the only difference is no blaze, which didn't matter. I don't know why they wouldn't have AP. Well, I guess yeah, I guess it makes sense. Anyways, doesn't matter. I'm just playing it as is at this point. Everybody has moved. There's nothing else to do. Defensive fire phase. They will subsequent into the adjacent. Now they have wall advantage. So the guy doesn't get the +2 for wall. He gets -1 on the shot. And it is double tabbed. So it's a 6 on 4, which is normal morale check. He's fine. Whoa. Guy over here, LMG into stopped vehicle. No, that's a miss, I believe. Well, no, actually, does he get the... He should get point blank. Yeah, he gets point blank. So he will get it. And I believe a 6 is not enough to do anything. Because the armor... Yeah, if it wasn't for the armor, there'd be a second stun, I think. So that happens. Fine. Advanced fire phase. 3 up. 3 at least. No effect. Guy with the LMG shoots adjacent. That's a 7 up 2. 9 on 7. I'll say it's a pin test check. Pin and the squad's okay. Sniper doesn't activate, so it doesn't matter. We go to routes. These guys have to route back. This would be interdiction, so they just go back to their original spot. Advance. Might as well try it, because I got nowhere else to go with that guy. Is there any other advance? Nope. CC over here, Germans are at 1 to 2. Yeah, Germans are at 1 to 2, and the French are at 1 to 1 down. All right, I'm just done. Oh man, yeah, I don't know. Like, I think in like raw terms, it's not necessarily a bad scenario. How do I put this? It is not a bad scenario, or I guess it's not a terrible scenario. It might actually be a bad scenario. So the reason why is because the reason why I think that is all the vehicles have what is essentially one place to go. Like, you can't, unless you want to take bog checks, which, what would a bog check be with an armored, we'll say armored car in Bocage. So Bocage, sorry, I wanted to look bog check. I know Bocage. Bog check. What stuff would I need? So I believe they get plus they're probably all the same outside of like the KFZ. Yeah, I think they have normal ground pressure because they have no marker. And I think if you have a box, that's good, and if you have a circle, it's heavy ground pressure. Let me double check here. Yeah, circles, high ground pressure. And if you have no box, it's normal. Okay, so the armored car would be +1. You're not fully tracked, +2. You're not... Just +2? That doesn't feel like that makes a lot of sense. Like, Bocage is supposed to be like super thick. Like, I would imagine that your bog chance should be a lot higher. Either way, if you don't want to suffer through bog checks, which you would do a lot anyways, like if you're going into N5 as an example, you're taking two, one to get in, one to get out. Same thing, like almost here. Going up this hill is bog check city. The walls, even going through walls, it's bog check. So you're the vehicles are just limited to the road, and you have a gun that you can literally set up specifically to watch the road, right? Like, am I looking at this wrong? I better not be. I am looking at this wrong. Of course, I'd be looking at this wrong. You know what? It literally doesn't matter because instead the gun can be in K3. I don't know why I was seeing whatever. I'm clearly I'm tired today or whatever, but even with the gun in K3, you still see these hexes, which is what was important. The units would have gotten closer. The Germans would have to go into even worse terrain, which I had infantry covering. It doesn't really matter. But it just highlights that the vehicles have to essentially go down the road. They can only really be effective on the road. You're not really getting wall advantage with them. And then just the convoluted, like, if you're an infantry, if you're anybody who's not in control, and I guess cascaded control, you have to roll. And if you just get unlucky, you don't get to do stuff. Um, and and personally, to me, I've never liked that style of command and control. I think in a lot of cases, having command and control where you like my idea of command and control is like you have activations, so you get to choose a unit to activate, and you have a limited number of activations per turn or whatever, blah 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 blah, and it can be modified by like the number of leaders you have or the quality of the leaders or whatever, and that's fine. I don't like that system at all. That's just a personal preference, and no yuck to other people's yums. Um, I just don't see what the fun is when you have units that like you might never use because the one time they got to move, they were put in a, we'll say, bad spot, and then they have no effect on the game, and then you just never do anything with them anyways. I'm sure that's not always the case. It probably isn't even like super common, but I don't know, man. It just feels to me like that's what happens, and it doesn't. I don't know. It just doesn't sound fun. Doesn't seem that interesting. But again, maybe I'm just blowing it out of proportion because I don't quite get the aspect for it, and it's fine. I will take my L if people enjoy those. But all to say that I don't think that ASL works with command control. Um, it kind of just reminds me of the World War One stuff, where it was the same idea, like you had to be within a distance, and yeah, I don't know, it just doesn't sound fun. And because the vehicles all essentially you kind of just like are forced down the road, the guns are gonna watch the road. There's literally no reason not to. The guns can be hip, like if you set up the gun in G5, like or I guess you can't do that. Like H1, it's still a legal setup. You can do it in the woods and watch the bridge, and I guess these are the spots if you really wanted to or could or whatever. Bocage, it's just whatever. And then you get a second gun, obviously. So even if the vehicles get past the gun or survive the gun and aren't blown up by the gun, you then have to try and blow up the gun, which, it's like, do you overrun them? Do you just like sit next to them and you just shoot at them with your machine guns? Like, there are options, sure, but they're not really good. I did have reinforcements that were supposed to come in. Look, I just like I said, I was just so checked out by this scenario. Um, you know, the guys come in through G4. It's a tank, a Panzer, what, 2A, another half track, which I'm sure you can just like load the squad in, and an armored car. But like, I don't know, man. It's not, again, if it doesn't really matter if the tank can just like come into an area and then still has to bog check through hedges or bocages, sorry, or like gets blown up by the AA gun. Like, it's not going to help for control, you know, if you can't dislodge the infantry. If, you know, I don't know. Yeah, I was very checked out in this scenario. I don't know, not a fan. I played the reinforcements wrong, but the command and control stuff is just eh. I also don't think it would have done anything because I lost everything on turn 1 and 2. So we're just talking about throwing more bodies to the fire and hoping that everything goes right. I guess like the other thing to add is like I can't imagine this being super fun for the French side either. Specifically because if you are the French in this case, then you know you have less leaders, or fewer leaders, I should say, and you just don't get to like move guys. Like with a +2, like I got really lucky with a lot of 1s, 2s, but yeah, like I can't imagine playing and like just not getting to do anything a third of the time. That just kind of sucks. I don't know. I don't know if I would recommend this scenario, but I'll give them points for concept, I guess. Either way, I hope you all enjoyed. Should be back this coming Saturday with Rootin', hopefully. Fingers crossed. And we'll see you then. Have a lovely week. Bye.